It began like any other peaceful day on Earth. Cities were alive with noise, people rushing to work, children laughing in the streets, and scientists preparing to send another probe into space. Humanity had reached a new level of peace. Wars were now history books. Hunger was almost gone, and the planet was healing. For the first time in centuries, Earth was truly united. Then, the sky changed. At first, it looked like a storm forming, thick black clouds moving against the wind. But soon the clouds began to glow, pulsing with blue light. Within minutes, thousands of lights filled the heavens, too organized to be natural. Governments across the planet tried to contact their space stations, but every system went silent. Satellites blinked out one by one like candles in a storm. The invasion began without warning. From orbit, massive alien ships appeared, silent and bright like metal moons. They didn't send messages or threats. They opened fire. The first cities vanished in seconds. Energy beams cut through buildings, vaporizing everything in their path. No one knew who they were or what they wanted. All that was clear was that humanity was being erased. In the first 12 hours, half of the planet's defenses were gone. Military jets couldn't even reach the alien ships before being burned from the sky. Nuclear missiles launched, but every single one was intercepted. It was like fighting gods. Dr. Elena Carter watched it all from a mountain observatory in Chile. She was an astrophysicist, never trained for war. But as she saw the destruction spreading, she felt something burning inside her, a quiet rage. "They don't even speak," she whispered. "They don't even explain." Around her, other scientists were panicking, trying to send signals into space, calling for help from whoever might listen. But deep down, Elena knew. No one was coming. Humanity was alone. By the second day, major cities were gone. New York, Tokyo, Berlin, London turned into glowing craters. Millions of lives lost. The aliens didn't take prisoners. They didn't even collect resources. They simply destroyed. It was genocide. In the underground shelters, the survivors watched the skies. Rumors spread that governments had fallen, that world leaders were gone. But one rumor spread faster than fear itself, that a small fleet of human warships had escaped Earth's orbit before the invasion began. No one knew where they went, but it gave people something they hadn't felt in days: hope. Elena joined a group of survivors heading toward a secret base deep under the Andes. The journey was hard. Roads were gone. Drones patrolled the skies, and every explosion reminded them how small they were. But she kept going. She believed that maybe, just maybe, those who survived could fight back. Far above Earth, the alien fleet hovered in silence. Inside one of the colossal ships, a commander observed the ruined planet. To them, it wasn't war. It was a cleansing. They had done this before to other worlds, and none had ever fought back. Humanity, in their eyes, was just another primitive species in the way. But this time would be different. In the shadows of Earth's destruction, something ancient and powerful was awakening, something the aliens didn't expect. Deep beneath the planet's crust, old defense systems, long forgotten and hidden by generations, began to hum. The planet itself seemed to respond to the pain, as if Earth was alive and angry. When the aliens launched their next attack wave, one of their ships suddenly exploded without warning. A beam of energy, unknown and untraceable, had struck from the ground. No human military had that technology. Confusion spread among the alien commanders. Back in the underground base, Elena and her team watched radar screens lighting up. "What was that?" Someone gasped. "Was that us?" Elena stared at the readings, her eyes wide. "No," she said softly. "That was Earth." For the first time since the invasion began, the aliens stopped advancing. The sky was silent again, but this silence felt different. It was heavy, waiting. Something was coming, and for the first time humanity felt it. Not fear, not despair, but something far stronger, the beginning of revenge. The underground base was cold and silent except for the soft hum of machines. Dust hung in the air, lit by the pale blue glow of old computers. Dr. Elena Carter stood in front of a cracked screen, watching strange data lines move across it. They had just witnessed something impossible, an alien ship destroyed by an unknown force from Earth itself. The soldiers around her whispered to each other. "Maybe it was one of our secret weapons," one said. "Maybe the Americans had something hidden." But Elena shook her head slowly. "No human tech can do that," she said. "Whatever hit that ship came from deep underground. It's older, Captain Reyes, the commander of the small survivor unit, stepped closer. His uniform was torn, his face covered with soot and exhaustion. "Older, what are you saying, Doctor?" Elena hesitated. Before the war, there were rumors in the scientific community about something called Project Gaia. It was a classified program, something the Global Defense Network started decades ago. It was supposed to be a planetary defense system, controlled by AI and powered by the Earth's own magnetic field. But the project was abandoned. Or so we thought, Reyes frowned. "And you think it's still running?" Elena looked back at the radar screen. "I don't think it ever stopped." Suddenly, one of the technicians shouted, "We're receiving a transmission." Everyone rushed toward the main console. The sound was faint at first, just static and broken frequencies. But then a voice began to form. It wasn't human. It was mechanical, calm, and cold. Protocol 9 activated. Unauthorized life forms detected. Initiating planetary defense. Estimated time to counterstrike 48 hours. The room fell silent. No one moved. The voice continued, repeating the same message before fading away. Captain Reyes turned to Elena. "Did you hear that? Unauthorized life forms. That means the aliens." Elena nodded slowly. "And counterstrike. That means Earth is fighting back." But even as those words gave them hope, fear crept in too. If the planet itself was preparing a counterstrike, what would that look like? How much power could it release? Would it even care if humans were caught in the middle? Outside the base, the night sky was strangely quiet. The alien ships had stopped firing. They seemed to be scanning, searching. In orbit, their commanders were confused. Their sensors picked up massive energy readings coming from the planet's core, something they had never encountered before. The lead commander, a tall being of silver armor and black eyes, issued a single order. "Prepare the cleansing beam. Destroy the source." High above, the largest alien warship began to charge a weapon that could vaporize an entire continent. Blue light gathered at its core, swirling like a small sun. On the ground, people could see the glow in the sky and screamed in terror. It was brighter than the moon. Inside the base, alarms began to blare. "They're targeting us," yelled one of the soldiers. Captain Reyes barked orders. "Seal all entrances. Get everyone underground." But Elena didn't move. She stared at the radar, her heart pounding. The signal from Project Gaia was changing. The system wasn't staying silent anymore. It was responding. The computers flickered and new data appeared. Streams of numbers, wave patterns, and unknown symbols. Elena typed quickly, trying to decode it. Then she froze. It wasn't just numbers. It was a message. Humanity must endure. Stand by for awakening. Before anyone could react, the ground began to shake violently. Dust fell from the ceiling, lights flickered, and a deep rumble came from far below. The power of the planet's core was building. It was like the heartbeat of something enormous, something alive. Then a beam of golden light shot out from the Andes Mountains, straight into the sky. It hit the alien warship before it could fire, splitting it in half. The explosion turned night into day. The ground trembled. Everyone inside the base fell to their knees, staring at the screens showing the destruction above. The aliens had never seen power like this. Their technology, advanced and precise, was useless against the raw, living energy that came from the planet itself. In space, their fleet began to panic. Communications broke down as more of their ships were struck by beams from different parts of Earth. From the Sahara, from the Pacific, from Antarctica. The planet was alive with fury. Elena watched in disbelief. "It's not just a weapon," she whispered. "It's..." Consciousness. Captain Reyes turned to her, his voice trembling. "Are you saying Earth is alive?" Elena looked at the monitors again, where pulses of energy were spreading through the planet like veins of light. "Maybe not alive like us," she said softly, "but it's aware. And it's angry." The survivors stood together, listening to the distant thunder outside. The invasion had turned into a war between the destroyers and the world itself. Humanity had started this battle as victims, powerless and afraid. But now something far greater was on their side. Elena felt the air change. The static in the base grew stronger, as if invisible electricity filled the room. On every screen, the same message appeared once more, and this time in English. "Defend your world, rise." Reyes stared at the glowing words and clenched his fists. "Then let's rise." The humans in the base didn't know what would come next, but for the first time since the invasion began, they believed. They believed Earth hadn't given up on them. And as the alien fleet began to regroup in orbit, a new war was about to begin. one the galaxy would never forget. The world was no longer silent. Every mountain, ocean, and desert seemed to hum with strange energy. Survivors hiding in bunkers and caves could feel the vibration through the ground. It wasn't an earthquake, and it was something alive, something vast moving deep beneath their feet. In the underground base, Dr. Elena Carter and Captain Reyes stood before a large screen showing glowing lines spreading across the Earth's surface. These energy lines connected like veins, pulsing with light. "It's spreading faster," said one of the technicians. "Whatever's waking up, it's all over the planet now." Elena's voice was calm but filled with awe. "This is Project Gaia's full activation. The planet is responding. It's defending itself." Captain Reyes crossed his arms, his face tense. "So Earth's awake. But what does that mean for us?" Before Elena could answer, the lights flickered. The base's old speakers crackled again with that same calm, artificial voice. "Protocol 10 initiated. Synchronization complete. Human command requested." Everyone looked at each other, confused. "Human command?" Reyes asked. Elena stepped closer to the console and spoke softly into the microphone. "This is Dr. Elena Carter. Who am I speaking to?" There was a long pause. Then the voice replied, "I am Gaia, planetary defense intelligence awakened after 2 centuries of dormancy. The planet is under threat. Assistance required." The room fell silent. The Earth itself, or at least its ancient defense system, was asking humans to help. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "Gaia, we're survivors. Most of the military is gone. The cities are destroyed. We have very little left." The voice responded without emotion. "Insufficient. You will adapt. Accessing human defense archives. Preparing transfer of command codes." Suddenly, one of the control panels began to glow. Lines of ancient code appeared, then changed into readable words. "Authorization granted, human control level 1. The soldiers in the room looked stunned. "Are you saying we can control this thing?" one asked. Elena shook her head. "Not control. Cooperate." At that moment, the ground shook again, harder than before. The monitors showed a massive alien fleet entering low orbit. Hundreds of ships surrounded the planet, forming a dark ring in the sky. The alien commanders had realized they couldn't fight the planet from afar. Now they were coming closer to end it once and for all. Reyes slammed his fist on the table. "They're going for total extermination." Elena typed quickly on the console. "Gaia, can you stop them?" The AI's response came immediately. "Affirmative. But full defense requires synchronization with human neural patterns. Connection is necessary." Elena froze. "Neural synchronization?" "Yes," Gaia replied. "A human mind must guide the defense. The planet was made to protect its creators. It needs one of you to help it see." Everyone turned toward Elena. She understood what that meant. The system needed a human to connect, to merge with the planetary network. It was dangerous, maybe fatal, but someone had to do it. Captain Reyes stepped forward. "Doctor, if it's dangerous, I'll do it." Elena looked at him and shook her head. "No, Gaia needs someone who understands the code, the systems. It was designed by scientists. This is what I was meant to do." Reyes's jaw tightened. "If you do this, you might not come back." Elena gave a small, sad smile. "If I don't, none of us will." The technicians helped her move to the main interface, an old chair surrounded by metal arms and glowing cables. As she sat down, the machine came alive. Wires extended and attached to her helmet, scanning her brain. She took a deep breath. "Gaia," she said, "I'm ready." "Synchronization beginning," the AI replied. The lights dimmed. Elena gasped as waves of energy filled her mind. Images flooded her vision. Mountains, oceans, storms, the heartbeat of the planet itself. She could feel the Earth's pain, its fury, its will to survive. Her thoughts merged with it until she was no longer just Elena Carter. She was part of something far larger. From space, the alien fleet prepared to fire. Their leader stood inside his ship's command center, watching Earth rotate below. "End this world," he ordered. As the fleet's weapons charged, the planet responded. Clouds swirled into massive storms. Lightning streaked across continents. In the oceans, giant whirlpools formed, swallowing alien drones. And from the Earth's crust, beams of pure energy shot upward, hitting enemy ships with unstoppable precision. Elena's voice echoed through Gaia's network, calm, powerful, and everywhere at once. "You came to destroy us," she said, though no human around her could hear. But you've awakened something that won't die. The alien fleet tried to retreat, but it was too late. One by one, their ships exploded in the upper atmosphere. The sky burned bright again. Inside the base, the survivors watched with tears in their eyes. The planet was fighting back and winning. Captain Reyes stared at the glowing screens, his heart pounding. "She's doing it," he whispered. "Elena's doing it." But deep within the machine, Elena's body trembled. Her heart raced, her breathing slowed. The connection was draining her life, but she kept going. She could feel every part of the Earth, every pulse, every scream, every heartbeat. Humanity and Gaia were one. Then, as the last alien ship in orbit exploded, a strange calm fell over the planet. The storms eased, the light faded, and the Earth seemed to breathe again. Gaia's voice returned, one softer now. Threat neutralized. Human synchronization complete. Awaiting further command, Elena opened her eyes slowly. They glowed faintly with blue light, reflecting the planet's energy. She whispered one word before losing consciousness. Together, Captain Reyes caught her as she collapsed, her pulse faint but alive. Around them, the base was silent, filled only with the sound of wind outside. The war wasn't over yet. Somewhere in deep space, more alien fleets were gathering. But now, Earth was ready, and humanity was no longer just a species. It was part of something far greater. Days passed after the great battle. The sky was finally clear. Smoke faded, and the constant sound of explosions was gone. What remained was silence, the kind that felt heavy, like the world itself was holding its breath. In the underground base, the survivors were repairing what little equipment they had left. Screens flickered on and off, some showing faint satellite images. Captain Reyes stood near Elena's medical bed, his eyes tired but filled with a quiet hope. She was still unconscious but alive. Her body was weak, yet every time the Earth's energy pulsed, the monitors beside her flickered with the same rhythm, as if her heart and the planet's core were beating together. Dr. Miller, one of the remaining scientists, adjusted her oxygen line. "She's stable for now," he said softly. "But her brainwaves are unusual." Reyes looked at the screen. The pattern didn't look human at all. It was complex, layered with strange energy signals. "Gaia's still connected to her, isn't it?" he asked. Miller nodded. "Yes, she's the link now, the bridge between us and the planet." Before Reyes could answer, the base lights dimmed again. Static filled the speakers, and Gaia's calm voice echoed through every hallway. "Warning. Long-range signal detected. Origin, deep space. Message frequency matches the invader's command network." The room froze. A return signal. The aliens were calling for help. Reyes clenched his fists. "They're bringing reinforcements." Miller's face went pale. "If another fleet arrives, we're finished." Gaia used everything it had to stop the first wave. Elena stirred in her bed. Her fingers twitched and her lips moved slightly. The heart monitor beeped faster. "They're coming," she whispered weakly, her voice distant, almost mechanical. "Gaia can hear them." Reyes leaned closer. "Elena, can you hear me?" Her eyes opened halfway, glowing faintly blue. "They're angry. They're sending their armada, hundreds of ships. They'll reach Earth in 3 days." Panic spread through the room. They didn't have the weapons, the numbers, or even the energy to fight again so soon. Gaia had saved them once, but even the planet needed to recover. Then Gaia spoke again. "Counter-strategy in progress. Request: connect global survivors to network." "Humanity must rise," Reyes frowned. "Connect survivors? How?" The monitors displayed maps of the world, scattered signals from bunkers, ships, and small survivor colonies. Gaia was reaching out to them all. Messages began to appear. "This is Station 12, Alaska. We're alive." Group Delta reporting from Australia. "Europe resistance still holding." Voices from across the world answered the call. Humanity wasn't as broken as they thought. Elena's voice grew stronger as she sat up slowly. "Gaia's building a new defense network. It needs human minds, not just machines. It's learning from us." Captain Reyes nodded. "Then let's help it. Let's connect everyone." Hours turned into a blur of work. Technicians relinked old satellite systems. Soldiers boosted power generators, and radio operators sent Gaia's signal across the planet. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity was united, not by governments or armies, but by survival and purpose. As the new network came online, Gaia's energy began to stabilize. Lights across the planet brightened, and natural disasters started to calm. Humanity's touch was guiding the system, bringing balance to its raw power. Elena felt it too. The Earth was no longer just reacting. It was thinking with them. But far out in the darkness of space, the alien armada approached. A wall of ships, each one larger than a city, their engines glowing red like the eyes of demons. The alien commander, the same one who had led the first attack, stood on his bridge, his face expressionless. "The primitive world resists," he said. "They believe their planet protects them. We will show them the truth, that nothing defies the Dominion." On Earth, Gaia's sensors detected their movement. "Incoming fleet, 72 hours, the voice reported. "Planetary defenses recharging." "Probability of success, 43%. Reyes looked at the others. 43%. "I'll take it." Elena smiled weakly. "That's more than we had last time." Gaia's systems began to hum louder and a new symbol appeared on the main screen, a spiral of light with the word "awakening" beneath it. Elena felt a strange pull in her mind. "It's opening something deeper," she whispered. Something ancient, older than Gaia itself. Suddenly, the base trembled. A low roar echoed from deep below. On the surface, massive structures began rising from beneath the oceans, towers made of crystal and metal, glowing with the same blue light as Gaia. They were like sleeping giants returning to life. People across the world watched from ruined cities and mountain camps. These towers reached into the clouds, forming a glowing web around the planet. "What is this?" Reyes asked. Elena's eyes widened. The true defense network. Gaia was just the key. The planet's creators built this millions of years ago. "Creators?" Reyes echoed. "Yes," she said quietly. "Earth was never just a world. It was built as a guardian." Outside, lightning crackled across the towers and beams of energy linked them together in the sky. The planet's surface pulsed brighter than ever before. But even with this miracle awakening, one truth remained. The enemy was almost here. Gaia's voice echoed again. "Human command, prepare for final contact." Reyes looked toward the sky, then at Elena. "We've got 3 days to get ready. Let's make them count." Elena nodded, her blue-lit eyes reflecting the glow of the towers outside. "They thought they destroyed Earth," she said softly. "Now they'll meet what Earth really is." The ground rumbled again as another pulse of light spread through the atmosphere, reaching far into space, a warning to the oncoming fleet. Humanity had risen. Earth had awakened, and the galaxy was about to learn fear. 3 days later, the sky was no longer calm. From the dark edge of space, the new alien armada arrived, a fleet so large it blotted out the stars. Thousands of ships, each shaped like blades of steel, formed a wall around Earth. Their engines glowed red like a burning wound in the heavens. Inside the underground command base, Captain Reyes stood before the main screen, watching the radar light up with enemy signals. "That's more ships than I can count," he muttered. Dr. Elena Carter sat beside him, her eyes faintly glowing blue, still linked to Gaia. "They've come to finish it," she said quietly. "They won't stop this time." The calm, steady voice of Gaia filled the room. Armada detected. Energy readings surpassed previous invasion by 320%. Planetary shields at 67% capacity. 67? Reyes frowned. "That's not enough." "Insufficient," Gaia agreed. "Recommend activation of global towers." Across the planet, the giant crystal metal towers that had risen from the oceans now glowed brighter than before. From their peaks, arcs of lightning reached into the clouds, connecting with one another until a massive energy web formed around Earth, a shimmering shield of light. People everywhere stopped and stared. Survivors in broken cities, hidden bases, and mountain camps all looked up at the same sky. For the first time, the world itself was fighting for them. Elena's voice trembled slightly. "Gaia says the towers can channel human emotion, courage, hope, even anger, into energy. That's how they grow stronger." Reyes looked around at the weary survivors. "Then we give it everything we've got." He opened the base's global comm link. His voice echoed through every working radio left on the planet. "This is Captain Reyes. The enemy is here again. But this time Earth is with us. Every heartbeat, every breath, every memory. It all matters now. Send your strength. Stand together." As his message spread, Gaia's readings surged. Around the world, humans closed their eyes, whispered prayers, shouted in defiance, or simply held each other. The towers responded. Their glow intensified, turning the night sky into a storm of blue fire. Then the first alien strike came. A massive energy beam shot from orbit, slamming into the shield. The explosion shook mountains and boiled clouds, but the barrier held. The light rippled, bending but not breaking. Gaia's voice stayed calm. Impact absorbed. Shield stable. Reyes smiled faintly. Let's see how long they can keep firing. But the aliens weren't stopping. Hundreds of ships unleashed their weapons at once. The sky burned as if the sun itself had split open. The shield shimmered and screamed under the assault. In some places, it flickered dangerously. Inside the base, systems overloaded. Sparks flew. "Power dropping," shouted one of the engineers. Elena pressed her hand against the glowing console. "Gaia, redirect tower energy to the weakest points. Focus on defense lines near Asia and South America." "Confirmed," Gaia replied. Rebalancing flow. The towers shifted their energy, brightening in new patterns. The shield stabilized again, but the aliens had another plan. Their commander, cold and precise, raised one clawed hand toward a massive black ship in the center of the fleet. "Release the harvesters," he ordered. From the ship's hull, thousands of smaller drones detached and plunged toward Earth like a swarm of fireflies. They sliced through the clouds, bypassing the shield's upper layers. Their mission was simple: destroy the towers from within the atmosphere. On the surface, cities that had once been silent lit up again with battle. Human soldiers, old machines, and drones, reactivated by Gaia, engaged the invaders. The skies filled with chaos. Reyes turned to his team. "If those drones take down even one tower, the shield collapses. We need to protect them." Elena nodded. "I'll guide the towers. You hold the ground." "Copy that," Reyes said, loading his weapon. He looked back at her for a moment. "Don't let Earth fall asleep again." Elena smiled faintly. "Not this time." As Reyes and his team left the base to join surface defense, Elena sat back in the chair and closed her eyes. Gaia's energy rushed into her mind again. She saw everything, every tower, every lightning strike, every human still fighting. The planet's pulse was strong, but the strain was immense. In space, the alien commander watched his drones descend. "The shield will fail," he said coldly. "And when it does, burn the surface clean." But something unexpected happened. As the drones neared the towers, strange waves of energy rippled outward, not from the towers themselves, but from the humans near them. Fear turned into strength. Pain turned into light. The towers fed on emotion, and now they were unstoppable. One by one, the drones began to disintegrate mid-air, melted by invisible energy fields. Some crashed into the oceans, others simply vanished. The commander stepped back in shock. "Impossible." Elena's voice echoed across Gaia's system, calm, strong, and everywhere at once. "You made us fear you once. Now you'll learn what fear truly means." "On Earth," Gaia responded. Massive beams of light erupted from the towers, piercing the sky and striking the alien fleet. Dozens of ships exploded instantly. The others tried to flee, but their engines failed as Earth's magnetic field twisted their systems. Captain Reyes, standing on a hilltop, watched the burning streaks in the sky. "Elena, whatever you're doing, keep doing it." In orbit, the alien flagship trembled. The commander's calm voice finally broke. "Retreat! Retreat now!" But it was too late. The web of energy surrounding Earth expanded outward, turning into a pulse that reached far beyond the atmosphere. When it touched the fleet, ships shattered like glass. And then silence again. Gaia's voice returned, softer now. "Armada neutralized. Planetary defense stable. Survivors. 73% of known human life." Elena opened her eyes slowly, tears running down her cheeks. "We did it," she whispered. Reyes's voice came through the radio, rough and tired. "We're still here, Doc. The sky's clear again." She looked up at the glowing towers through the cracked ceiling. "No," she said quietly. "The war isn't over." "They'll come again." This was only their Armageddon fleet, but now, we're ready. Outside, Earth glowed brighter than any star. The galaxy had just witnessed the impossible, a planet that refused to die. And somewhere far beyond the stars, in the cold heart of the Dominion, others were watching. They now knew one terrifying truth. Humanity was no longer prey. Earth was no longer weak. The monsters had woken up. The battle was over. For the first time in centuries, the sky above Earth was clear. The stars shone brightly as if the universe itself had paused to watch what came next. But peace never lasts long. Captain Reyes sat in the command bunker, his armor scorched and cracked. The air smelled of metal, ozone, and dust. Around him, screens flickered with broken signals. The global network was still rebuilding itself. "Report," he said quietly. Lieutenant Harper turned from the console. "Gaia's energy readings have stabilized, sir. The towers are regenerating. Civilian shelters are reconnected across 32 regions." Reyes nodded slowly. "And Elena?" The lieutenant hesitated. "She hasn't come back from the link chamber yet." "Gaia says her connection is still active." Reyes stood, the weight of exhaustion pressing down like gravity. "Still active? After what she did out there?" Before Harper could answer, the main screen came alive. Static. Then a faint image. Dr. Elena Carter, her face pale but calm, surrounded by a soft blue light. "Reyes." Her voice echoed through the speakers, gentle but distant, like it was traveling through time itself. "Elena," Reyes said, stepping closer. "You're alive. Talk to me. What's happening?" She smiled faintly. "Alive, yes. But different. Gaia and I were not separate anymore. When I pushed the towers to full synchronization, something changed. I can hear everything, Reyes. The heartbeat of the planet. The memories of those who fell. Even the fear of the stars watching us." Reyes frowned. "You sound like Gaia?" She interrupted softly. "Maybe I am now. Maybe she's me." The room went silent. Around them, even the low hum of the generators seemed to fade. "Elena," Reyes said carefully, "you saved us. You stopped the fleet. You did what no one thought possible." Her expression turned somber. "That's what I need to tell you about. The fleet wasn't the end. It was a test." Reyes stiffened. "A test?" "Yes. The Dominion's core intelligence, they call it the Conclave. They've been watching. The fleet that attacked wasn't their full strength, only one of 7 arms. They wanted to see what humanity had become. And now?" She looked upward as if staring through the ceiling. "Now they know." Reyes clenched his fists. "Let them come again. We'll be ready this time." Elena's hologram flickered. "It's not that simple. I've seen their network. They span 1,000 worlds. Their technology is woven into the fabric of reality itself. But they're afraid now, Reyes, afraid of Earth, afraid of us." Harper whispered. "Afraid of humans." Elena nodded. "Because they can't understand how a dying world, a broken species, could channel emotion into power strong enough to destroy a fleet. They can't process something born of chaos, hope." Reyes looked at her image. "So what do we do?" Elena's eyes glowed brighter, the light spreading through her body like liquid fire. "I'm sending you the coordinates of their transmission hub. It's not in this galaxy, it's in the void between. A place where even light dies. I can open a gate, but once it activates, I won't be able to return." "No," Reyes said firmly. "We'll find another way." "You've done enough," she smiled sadly. "Reyes, listen to me. Humanity has one chance to end this war before it begins again. Gaia's power can't last forever. The towers draw from emotion and people will grow tired, afraid, divided. You know what humans are like?" Reyes's jaw tightened. "You mean we're human, imperfect, but still fighting?" "Yes," she whispered. "That's what makes us dangerous." The light around her began to intensify. The screen flickered with cascading data streams, alien symbols, coordinates, encrypted signals. Gaia's voice overlapped hers, creating a haunting echo. "Transmission upload, 72% complete. Warning, interference detected from external source." Reyes stepped forward. "Elena, someone's trying to block you." "I know," she said. They found the channel. "I don't have much time. When this finishes, follow the signal. But remember, Reyes, don't fight them like they fight. They expect machines, weapons, cold logic. Give them something they can't simulate." "What's that?" Reyes shouted. Her eyes locked onto his, calm and infinite. "Humanity." Then the feed erupted in static. The lights in the bunker flickered violently. The air seemed to vibrate. "Signal lost," Harper said. "But sir?" "Something's happening outside." They rushed to the surface. The night sky was alive again, but this time not with ships or fire. Above the earth, a massive ring of light had formed, spinning slowly, humming with power. Inside the ring, the stars bent and twisted as if space itself was opening a door. "Gaia," Reyes said breathlessly. "What is that?" The AI's voice echoed from the tower network, deeper and more resonant than ever before. "Dimensional gate detected. Origin unknown. Destination coordinates received from Dr. Carter." Energy readings off the scale. Reyes stared up, awe and fear warring in his eyes. She did it. She actually did it. A low tremor rolled through the ground. The towers began to pulse in synchronization, channeling their power toward the gate. Around the planet, satellites reignited, reforming into a single orbital formation, a fleet. Reborn from the ashes of the old world, humanity's calling. Reyes whispered. From the gate came a faint transmission, fragmented and distorted but unmistakably human. This is Dr. Elena Carter. Gaia and I have entered the void. I can see them, the conclave. They are vast, but not infinite. Tell them. Static swallowed her voice, but one final word broke through. Remember. Then, silence. The ring of light stabilized, glowing brighter, until it became a new sun in Earth's sky. Reyes turned to his crew, his face set with quiet resolve. Prep the ships. We follow her in. Harper looked stunned. Sir, that's suicide. Reyes smiled faintly. Maybe, but if we don't go, she'll be alone out there. And I'm done letting humanity fight alone. As the gate opened fully, the fleet rose from Earth, sleek, scarred, and shining. The people of Earth watched from below, cheering and crying as humanity's armada vanished into the light. And somewhere, in the darkness beyond galaxies, a voice whispered through the void, half Gaia, half human, filled with something no machine could ever create, hope. The void was endless. Black oceans of silence stretched beyond imagination, broken only by faint threads of light. Ancient trails left by civilizations that had long vanished. And in that darkness, a new light began to form. Humanity's fleet, emerging from the gate like sparks from a dying star. Captain Reyes sat in the command chair of the rebuilt flagship Erebus. Around him, the crew worked in perfect coordination, their faces pale but steady. No one spoke. The moment demanded silence. Gaia status, he said at last. The AI's calm voice replied. Dimensional transition complete. All ships accounted for. Energy level stable. We are in the outer void. Gravitational field null. Contact with Earth lost. Reyes looked at the screen. Before them, the conclave waited. It wasn't an army, it was a presence. Thousands of ships arranged in geometric perfection, each one glowing like a captured sun. Between them floated structures so massive that they defied logic, their surfaces shifting like liquid metal. And at the center of it all was something that made the human mind tremble, a sphere of living light pulsing with intelligence older than time itself. The conclave. Signal detected, Gaia said. They are initiating communication. A voice filled the bridge. It wasn't sound, but thought, clear and sharp inside their minds. Humanity. You were not meant to survive. You are chaos given form. You were tested. You should have perished. Reyes stood. Then maybe your test failed. The light pulsed again like a heartbeat made of stars. You wield forces beyond your nature. You merged with your world. You became something unnatural. Explain. Before Reyes could speak, another voice joined the channel. Calm, familiar and filled with warmth. Elena Carter, speaking for Earth, she said. The crew froze. Every screen flickered with her image. She stood within the sphere of light, surrounded by streams of data and memories. Her body glowed faintly blue, her eyes no longer entirely human. Elena, Reyes whispered. I'm here, she said. Gaia and I found the conclave's core. They are pure logic. They don't feel. They don't dream. And that's their weakness, the conclave's voice thundered again. Emotion is corruption. It breeds destruction. Elena smiled sadly. Maybe, but it also breeds creation, love, and courage. You can't erase those. You can't predict them. Reyes stepped forward, voice steady. You burned our world, killed billions, and still don't understand. We don't fight because we want to win. We fight because we remember who we are, the fleet aligned. Thousands of ships formed a ring around the conclave's formation. Gaia's energy towers, now part of the vessels, began to glow. The power of Earth itself flowed through the ships, turning them into living extensions of the planet. Elena looked into the light around her. Reyes, when I merge the link completely, I'll open the void's core. It'll burn everything, the conclave, me, maybe even the fleet. You have to go back. No, Reyes said firmly. Not again. Humanity stands together now and forever. She smiled softly. Then let's show them what forever means. The conclave reacted instantly, releasing waves of energy across the void. Their ships moved like blades of light striking from every angle. But the human fleet moved as one. Thousands of minds connected through Gaia. Every pilot felt the heartbeat of the others. Every gunner saw through another's eyes. It was no longer a fleet. It was one living organism, humanity reborn. The first conclave ships exploded. Then the second. But the enemy was endless. Elena, we're being overwhelmed, Harper shouted. They're adapting! Elena's voice came through the static. Then we go beyond adaptation. She closed her eyes and reached into the heart of Gaia's consciousness. Energy pulsed from the human ships not as weapons but as emotion. The power of loss, of love, of rage, of hope, pure human feeling Gaia surged outward like a storm. The conclave screamed. Their perfect patterns shattered. Their ships twisted and broke apart under forces they couldn't calculate. You see, Elena whispered. You can't destroy what you can't understand. The void began to collapse. Reality itself rippled like fabric in a storm. The gate behind the fleet flared open, pulling the human ships toward safety. Reyes grabbed the console. Elena, come through, now. She shook her head, smiling through tears. I can't. Someone has to close the gate from this side. Elena, and tell them, she said softly. Earth remembers. The light swallowed her. A final surge of energy tore through the void, consuming the conclave's fleet in a wave of white fire. Then, silence. When the Erebus and the remaining ships reappeared above Earth, the sky was calm once more. The planet below shimmered with life, forests returning, oceans glowing softly where the towers reached deep beneath the surface. Humanity had survived again, changed forever. Reyes stood on the command deck watching the sunrise. Status? He asked quietly. Gaia's voice replied, softer now. Elena is gone, but her consciousness remains within me. She became part of the signal, part of Earth itself. Reyes smiled faintly. Then she's home. Below them, millions of survivors looked to the heavens. They didn't see ruins anymore. They saw a sky filled with promise, and in that moment the universe itself seemed to whisper, Remember, Earth,